Well, we've come so far with this series, and now are at the penultimate typing. Today, we're going to be doing the fire typing, and boy is it shocking to me that it took this long for us to get to the fire typing. I mean, it's how we started the top 10 weakest series, and yet here it is almost closing this series. I want to let you guys know ahead of time, if you hate starter Pokemon, this is so not the video for you. I couldn't believe just how many games don't offer truly good fire type Pokemon for a regular playthrough. I don't want to spoil the list too much before we actually get into things, so I'll stop with the intro here and hop into red and blue. So yeah, I say red and blue and not yellow because we actually have different answers here. The choices for red and blue are their respective fire types, Ninetales and Arcanine. Unfortunately, Charizard in its debut is not a very good Pokemon at all. It doesn't really excel in Kanto to begin with, but we'll talk more about it later. Growlithe and Vulpix are available on Route 7 or 8 before you end up going to face Erica. It's a perfect placement for some fire types, and the Firestone is available in the Celadon Apartment Store right after you capture it. Vulpix learns Flamethrower at level 35, but Arcanine isn't as lucky. Growlithe won't learn it until level 50. It is what it is, as Fire Blast is at least available from beating Blaine. You can't go wrong using either of these Pokemon in your respective game. As for Yellow, this time the choice actually is Charizard. Now, as I said, Charizard isn't amazing for Kanto in the end, but in Yellow, it actually ends up being able to learn Fly, which adds to its usefulness. You're given Charmander on Route 24 for free, which is sooner than you were getting Vulpix or Ninetales. You have to buy Vulpix from the Rocket Game Corner in Yellow, and Growlithe isn't available until Cinnabar, so I consider them a bit of a wash. Really, the reality of things is that fire Pokemon don't really play all that well in Kanto to begin with. You're better off not having one anyway, as the only leader that typing can really do much against is Erica. Now, as if Kanto didn't have much variety in its options, Johto is definitely worse. It's pretty enjoyable to look over the fire types in Johto and realize that Game Freak didn't even put all their newly introduced fire types into the pre-Elite Four parts of the game. Arcanine and Ninetales return depending on your game choice, but the Firestone isn't even available prior to Kanto and Gold and Silver. It's just the awful way this typing was handled early on, and thus we have to pick Typhlosion for the choice for Gold, Silver, and Crystal. It's a great start, don't get me wrong. I don't want this to seem like it's an unfortunate deal that we have to pick Typhlosion. If it was the only fire-type Pokemon in existence, you'd still be in great shape building a team around it. It's got a great special attack, and while its move pool isn't tremendous in the second generation, it's still a real threat out in battle. And I know you commenters are going to be going, Mystic, Gold and Silver, Thunder Punch. And you win, it learns Thunder Punch too. Though even if it was just okay, it's still better really than any of the other options. We'll just move on from here and head to the third generation. So with Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, come on, you know the answer to this. While Ninetales isn't a horrible option and is available in these games, it's without a doubt Blaziken. This will definitely not be the only time we talk about Blaziken, but let's truly try to put things into perspective here. The fire and fighting type will absolutely dominate in Hoenn. Blaziken will carry you through the first half of the gym challenge, including the very dangerous Norman battle with relative ease. It can take hits from Flannery's Torkoal, use Peck early on against Brawly, and of course, Double Kick is for sure an option for Roxanne. By the time you start running to the flying, psychic, water counters of the last few gyms, you've already gotten more than enough out of Blaziken. It'll be pretty solid in the Elite Four too, against Glacia and Sydney especially, and a lot of what Steven has going on when you play Ruby and Sapphire. We'll talk a little bit more about Blaziken later. So let's take another quick stop in Kanto for Fire Red and Leaf Green. This time it's a bit easier to definitely say Charizard. It now has access to Wing Attack, easy access to Flamethrower by level up, and even coverage for rock types with Metal Claw and Earthquake. There's a little bit of coverage here and there, but for the most part, Charizard is just the pick over Arcanine and Ninetales here due to the utility of being able to fly around and its dual typing. Alright, so guys, it's meme time. If you at all thought that the first 3 generations were a little lacking in appropriate fire-type options, we'll look no further than Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum if you wanted to see more of the same. In Diamond and Pearl, the only other option, aside from Infernape, was Rapidash. Like, can you seriously believe that? It's almost like Game Freak put together that Pokedex and said, hey, we want everyone to use Infernape every time they play. It really is like Infernape is running unopposed in these games. I mean, Rapidash? It has no chance. In Gen 4, it doesn't learn Flare Blitz until level 58, which is its only claim to being useful in the games. Infernape has Flare Blitz at level 57, which is no good either, but at least its stats are balanced enough where it can use the special fire type moves it has instead. It has access to Close Combat and Focus Blast too, and you cannot understand the power of those two moves. Why am I even dragging this out? It's the same with Platinum too. The few added fire types don't knock Infernape off its pedestal. You know how much I, and basically everyone else, loves Infernape by now. We can move on. Alright, Heart Gold and Soul Silver. You're gonna want to go with Typhlosion again. It's still really annoying to get the Firestone, so Ninetales and Arcanine are just disregarded. Houndoom stupidly remains a Kanto-only Pokemon, and the only Pokemon that truly challenges Typhlosion this time around is Entei. I see Typhlosion's longevity as the best thing it has going for it for sure. You can take out Bugsy with it easily, and its powerful fire-type moves play well throughout the journey. However, if you guys believe the annoyance of chasing Entei around can be completely disregarded, I can see it as just as good of an option, if not better in some cases. Let me know what y'all think. Let's go to Black and White next. And it's more of the same. Emboar is hands down the best Pokemon to use in these games if you want a fire type. Let's look at the facts. The first few gyms in Unova are tailor-made for Emboar and its line to beat down. Bugs, normal types, whatever you want to consider the first gym to be, easy pickings for Tepig, Pignite, and some random monkey. Later in the game, there are plenty of people that fear Emboar, being the steel types, the Isolator Byron, you name it. You have to wait a while to find a fire type that even compares to Emboar, and that's Darmanitan. And it lacks the great secondary typing that Emboar has. Chandelure is really just too late to consider, but it's a great Pokemon as well that definitely could have challenged Emboar for the Black and White title. How about the sequels? Well, things are a little bit different here. It isn't Emboar this time around. No. Instead, it's Arcanine. The best starter for Black and White 2 is Samurott after all, as it dominates more in the late game, and with actual fire options being available early on, it knocks Emboar out of its position. Arcanine is, as we all know, a very good Pokemon. It has base 110 physical and 100 special attack, and a nice base 95 speed. It has coverage that can be hard scaled on with Thunderfang, and naturally, a plethora of stab moves to do good damage with. Plus, you get Growlithe fairly early on at the Verbank Complex. It makes a lot of sense to trot out this majestic good boy as your Black and White 2 fire type, so I'm confident in saying it's the best. Let's move in on X and Y. And surely you guys know the answer here, right? Nope. Sorry, that guy in the back of the room, it's not Magcargo. It's going to be Charizard. How sad for Delphox. It isn't even good enough to be the best fire type in its game. Oh well. Charizard will Mega Evolve in the 2 great Megas depending on which game you're playing. The X form will give you an incredibly powerful Dragon typing, leaving Charizard susceptible to Ground type moves, but with the attack stats on this thing, it's worth the trade-off. If you get the Y form though, you've got a cheat code of a Pokemon, man. It has an insane base 159 special attack and the Drought ability, meaning running a combo of like Air Slash / Flamethrower / Solar Beam will tear away at so many random Pokemon in Kalos. It's almost unfair to use it in a playthrough, but who cares? All is fair in X and Y. You'll want to get through it as fast as possible anyway. Alright, calm down Gen 6 lovers. Let's move on. There's nothing to discuss for ORAS. It's Blaziken, and it's stupidly overpowered. Ban Mega. So, Sun and Moon and the Ultra releases are next, and they both got me thinking a lot. I came down to 2 options here, being the starter, Incineroar, and our good friend Arcanine. Which would it be, I wondered? I compared stats, move pools, availability, everything like that, and I eventually came up with my answer. Before then, let me bring up what the 2 do very well. When it comes to Incineroar, it obviously helps that you'll have it from the beginning of the game, and its stats are great when it's fully evolved. We're talking a wonderful 115 base attack and some decent enough bulk. Its move pool has Darkest Lariat and Flare Blitz as premier stab moves among so many others. Now, with Arcanine, its offenses are more balanced and it has better speed, and it's also available pretty early. It can get Thunderfang for good coverage against its water weakness, and it can even tutor on Ironhead in the Ultra games. So, what do I think the best option is? Well, the answer lies not within what either of these Pokemon do, but instead, the power that lies in a different starter choice. Whether you're playing Sun and Moon or the Ultra games, Primarina is the best starter for the games. It dominates a ton of Alola, and choosing Incineroar takes it off the table. We don't want to see Primarina out of the lineup, so Arcanine wins as the best fire type to use in these Alolan games. Can it do the same in Let's Go? Well, let's know! That was a terrible joke, I'm sorry. Charizard is again the best fire type here in Let's Go, having access to the best Cantonian move pool Charizard has ever had, with Flamethrower, Heat Wave, Air Slash, and tons of other options. I'll throw up a list of TMs it can learn too. It's a lot. How can you go against Charizard when it has grown into such a capable Pokemon? Finally, we close out this video with Sword and Shield. And the pick here, DLC or not, is going to be Cinderace. It's still very possible to get your hands on the hidden ability Scorbunny that you get from first using Pokemon Home. And if not, you can get an ability patch by doing Dynamax Adventures, which will let you change Scorbunny's ability into Libero. That ability works the same as Greninja's Protean, allowing Cinderace to change its typing to whatever move it is using and thus always have Stab. There's few things more OP than that. And on its own, Cinderace is a really great Pokemon regardless of its ability. It's got base 119 speed and 116 attack, and it can Gigantamax. Its signature move Pyro Ball is awesome. Just everything about this thing is great. You can try to argue this one with me in the comments, but I'm telling you, it's gotta be Cinderace. So that will do it for the second to last entry in this series. It's been a long run to get to this point, and I'm actually looking forward to tackling the dragon types next time. It's going to be both very easy and both controversial all in one. Who doesn't like that? Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about this entry down below, and I'll see you next time as we wrap this series up. Hey, welcome to my new outro. A big thank you to everyone for watching the video. I want to give a huge thanks to my phenomenal team, and for the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If y'all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too. It really helps us out. I have a brand new TikTok for Mystic Umbreon, and I've got a goal to get 10k followers over there. If we can hit that goal, I'm going to pick a random video suggested to me by you guys and do it. So go over there and leave a follow. Also, over on Mystic Sage, we've still got 2 videos going up every weekend. We've got content from My Hero, to Demon Slayer, to Dragon Ball, so come and check it out. And also check out Mystic Sage on TikTok. Finally, I've got an Amazon store where I sell tons of cool stuff. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon, and I'll see you next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.